What's going on, you sexy beasts, and welcome to the first ever live episode of the Smash JT Show, my weekly episodic adventure discussing divisive issues in the video game industry and beyond sometimes. And since this is going to be a live show format, I definitely want to do a lot of audience interaction and kind of get a feel from where you guys are coming from as the show goes along, and I'm also going to post this on my channel afterwards. So, what's up, Nintendo Direct? How's it going, buddy? So, the first topic we're going to talk about today is, and this is why I'm going right through it, is because I don't want this to last much longer than 10-15 minutes so that it's a consumable episode for people. Has the internet ruined the video game experience? And this is kind of one of those age-old questions that comes up every now and again, and it's recently been popping up online and chat rooms and things. Has the internet ruined the entire video game experience? Kids these days probably wouldn't even understand what that question even means because they didn't live before the internet. But I got to thinking about this more so when, who was it, Prima, the strategy guide company that recently closed its doors, saying that they weren't selling enough strategy guides and they felt like the internet pretty much put them out of business. And the other thing is the video games don't have the secrets that they used to have, like when you go to school, talk about the Legend of Zelda, how to get through the forest maze, things like that. That's all gone now. Now you just, if you get stuck in a game, you just look it up and continue on with the game, which some might argue is actually better, but that's why I want to pass off to you guys, because I'd be interested to hear what people have to say about, has the internet ruined the video game experience, or has it increased the hype and discussion surrounding them, making them easier to enjoy, making them something that you actually want to go on the internet because people are actually talking about what your passion is. And in reality, it's kind of hard to find people across the street or in your town that actually share the same passion that you have. So it definitely has two sides to it, and I can definitely see both sides to it, and there is a big positive and negative to it. But I want to see what you guys have to say about, has the internet ruined the video game experience? Those days were also very frustrating, Peppa Pig. Yeah, they were, but there was also some mystery and excitement trying to figure it out, as opposed to, oh, I'm stuck, let me just go look up what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, okay, that's what I gotta do. Yes, Super Andrew, this is a live Smash JT episode, and this is going to be posted on my channel after it airs. So I'm going to be keeping it short. I do plan on live streaming later today, but for this episode, I'm going to focus just on the topics, throw them out there for you guys, and have you guys discuss them in the actual chat as well, because I'm not going to be able to juggle both and keep this concise. So that's where I'm going to pass off the internet ruining the video game experience. Wilzo Surfer says, internet killed the video games. I don't know if it's killed them. I mean, video games are more popular than ever right now, but maybe what you mean is the excitement and passion personally for them. As an adult gamer, there are a few people to play with other than my kids. True. So online is good. And Paul Tessie says, honestly, it took me 6 years to get through Metroid on NES. If I had a map getting through the game and not deal with extra garbage that devs left in, I would have enjoyed it more, I'm sure. Interesting. Okay. Moving on to the next topic. Game companies hurt themselves by offering steep discounts just days after release. Now, this came up recently with Fallout 76 and EA's Battlefield 5, where these games came out like the week before Black Friday and had a 50% discount. And it wasn't even just on Black Friday. It was Black Friday weekend going forward, and I believe even Fallout 76 was Thursday before Black Friday. On Thanksgiving Day it started the sale. So as far as the game companies giving the steep discounts, are they hurting themselves in the public's eye? And what I mean by that is, a game that comes to mind for me is Mirror's Edge. I never had the chance to play that, and the first time I did was when it went free to play on Xbox Live for gold members or whatever. I got it and played it. I was like, oh, this is a pretty fun game. Glad I didn't pay $60 for it because I got it for free now. And then shortly after Mirror's Edge came out on Xbox Live service for free, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, the sequel, came out, and it was full price $60. And I'm like, well, I'm just starting to play through the first one. Why would I even bother spending money on the second one if I got the first one for free and I'm enjoying it right now? Why not just wait for the second one to be free? And I feel like that's kind of a perception that they're giving to gamers by giving games either cheap or free to them. It makes them not want to go out and buy a game at full price or even at a little bit of a discount because they get such a good price on the first game. There's no need to want to spend full price on the next game. So are game companies hurting themselves by putting games either free to play or giving them steep discounts after release? Be interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. When they discount, it helps us broke gamers and will drive sales of struggling games. Yes. I mean, I guess maybe it's two separate questions: a discounted game and a free-to-play gold or PlayStation Network game. Like, maybe it's two different questions there, but to me, it's the same thing. If I'm getting a game super cheap or if I'm getting it for free, in my mind, it devalues the worth of that game because I got it so cheap. It's hard to justify dropping $60 on a new game that's the sequel of it. But maybe I'm just on an island with that one. The fact that they made a garbage game is what's hurting the companies. The quick price drop is a symptom of that, not a casual factor. Interesting, Puppet Pete. I do like that. How about for games that aren't garbage, that go on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, like my example of Mirror's Edge? What about that? Do you feel like that actually hurt it, or does it build the hype for the game because more people are able to experience it during the release of the sequel? I think it was a terrible thing to make that game free right before releasing the sequel of it because it really hurt the sales of it. And that was true because Mirror's Edge Catalyst sold terribly, and they're all wondering why, because it's such a good game. It's like, well, because you put the first one for free. If I am a little quiet in chat, it's okay. No worries, Krillin. But I'll leave that one up for you guys and to discuss that in the chat for you. The next thing I wanted to talk about, well, actually, that's why high quality games tend to maintain their price. Digital should be cheaper than physical. Yeah, that's a good topic for another day, Papa Pete. Very true, though. Very true. Next topic. Would you rather have games sooner but more incomplete with constant updates, or would you rather have them later and have them more polished and complete without fixing bugs and issues? And this came to mind with Fallout 76 because there's just so many issues and plain bland world with it. No Man's Sky comes to mind as games that just came out when they weren't ready and people were buying them, upset about them. But then I wonder, at least you're getting to play them, where if you want them complete, don't buy it until it's complete. What's the problem with it coming out when it's not ready? If you just don't wait for the reviews that say, hey, the game's not ready yet, don't go out and buy it. So I can see both sides of this. Me personally, I say just have a game come out even if it's not ready, because I'm not going to buy it if it's not ready. But at the same time, it does diminish the hype level for the game a tremendous amount, like Fallout 76 and like No Man's Sky. I feel like it did impact the sales for those games because they weren't ready when they released, and public perception is already negative on them. So it's going to be really hard to turn that. And by the time they do turn public perception, people are already going to be moving on to the next game. So it doesn't affect me personally, which is why I don't care about it. But for people who are hyped about games, you probably would want to have them wait for release. Later in polish, I'd also pay more upfront and get all the content rather than paying even more over time for DLC. Juvenile Johnny, that's a good question and a good point to bring up there too. I feel like people will say that, but in reality they don't do that, at least when it plays out. Companies have realized they've tried to do the passes, they've tried to do the whole gold thing up front, and they realize it's like a drug almost. If they get somebody hooked on a game, they can slowly bleed money out of them by charging money as it goes along because they're just hooked on the game and they want more and more and more, as opposed to paying for it all up front and not knowing what you're going to get at the same time. But with that being said, I'm going to move on to the next topic. And I love the conversation you guys are having there. Sorry. I don't mean to be ignoring you, but while I'm doing this, I want you to have kind of a sidebar conversation with each other as well. So don't feel like you have to talk directly to me. Feel free to speak to each other about stuff and topics because, honestly, I truly value your input. I feel like it really moves the conversation forward. And one of the final topics, there's a couple things after this, but one of the final topics I wanted to bring up, how do you feel about the Super Nintendo thing? And if you guys aren't familiar with this, Super Nintendo was actually featured on Kotaku, was it last week, for peeling the cellophane film off of his Sega Master System. And I have that video loaded up here. Let me see if I can find it for you, because I want to show you if you're not familiar with this. 1 second. There we go. How do you guys feel about this? Because it's really split the audience. There's half of the people that are like, good, it should be removed from the system. And then there are people that are saying, what are you doing? You're destroying a historic artifact that can no longer ever have that cellophane wrap on it once you remove it. So it's definitely split the fan base. He actually brought this up in his most recent video. I'll link his channel in the description below to check it out. But he talks about this. I thought it was a very interesting topic, and it's funny how such a simple little thing has divided the gamers. Like, some people are like, yeah, do it. Other people are like, what are you doing? I guess it's kind of similar to the whole sealed or unsealed for an old game. Are you okay with ripping the seal off an old NES game? Or would you want to preserve its historic significance when you can just buy the game used from somebody else and have it anyways? It's a very interesting topic, and there's no right answer to it, which is why I love it so much. Hey, what's up, Grumpy? How's it going? Let me see. I have no feels for it. I don't understand the interest. Basically a historic artifact. Yeah, I could totally see that. So here's the next thing I wanted to bring up. The smashing game of the week, which this is the first time I've ever done a smashing game of the week that I have personally never played. But there's a good reason for that. The smashing game of the week is Subnautica, which on Metacritic has an 87. And I've never even heard of this game. Apparently it came out last year. The reason why I'm bringing it up is it just got announced today that it's a free download on the Epic Game Store until midnight of December 27th. So for the Ice Pirate and other people out there that were talking about not having the money to afford games, hopefully you have a computer and download the Epic Games Store app and put it onto your computer. It's just like Steam, and you get Subnautica, which is a $25 game that is ranked very highly on Metacritic. 39 positive critic reviews, 0 mixed, 0 negative. And look at the user reviews. 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 0. That's in Russian. He's probably just mad at the developer. But it's crazy that there's a game on PC with ridiculously high scores that's free. And I've never heard of it. And for those of you who are interested, I did load up, where is it? Here it is, the cinematic trailer for it.
A controlled descent.
Sunlight. I've been dreaming of it for months. But it's hard to enjoy alone.
Has anybody ever played Subnautica? Is anyone familiar with this?
Seems so long ago now.
And the reason why I ask is because this came out January 23rd, so the beginning of this year. And the top comment is Jacksepticeye saying, fantastic trailer. So apparently this was a big game that people were talking about that I'd never heard of. So They're making this free now because there's a massive DLC coming. See, that maybe that's the wave of the future, and that's another question for a future Smash JT Show episode. Is what are your thoughts on games being free to play and then offering paid DLC down the road, which kind of treats games even more like a drug because it's trying to hook people so that they spend money. You can look at that both ways. So, let's see. What are my thoughts on digital games going physical, limited run? Are they really limited? That is a loaded question, Rad Dad. That's something I will get into in a future Smash JT Show episode as well, because that's a really good topic that I've spoken about a few times, but my opinion and feelings on it have changed a little bit. So yeah, definitely a good topic to bring up for the future. I've played that game. I like it and had fun with it. I don't think it's a 9 or 10, but you give it a 7 or 8. That's still pretty good, though. For a free game, if you got a PC, download the Epic Store and get this game. I just did it today, and I'll be checking it out because it looks awesome. Whenever I find some freaking time in my life. And finally, to end the episode, the smashing video of the week. And I do these every Smash JT show. Oftentimes I do them, the creator doesn't know that I'm doing it, so I like to surprise them if they ever stumble upon this or if someone shares it with them. And this week's no different. It's made by Potentially Perfect. Never heard of this channel in my life before. It showed up on my Twitter feed and somebody said you had to watch this video. It's so good. So it's called Mega Man and the History of Mega Man. It's 10 minutes long, and here's a little snippet of it. The link is in the description as well.
Coming out after Mega Man X did not do this game any favors. Coming off such an action-packed and fluid evolution of the franchise made Mega Man 7 look a bit dull and frankly less mature than X. Not to mention less balanced. After the series producer left Capcom, Inafune took the reins and became the producer of Mega Man 8. Mega Man 8 was a very deep breath of fresh air.
He does a really good job of edits, cuts, and professional talking about the Mega Man series. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Visually, the mainline games were not known for their graphics, but 8 really upped things in that department. So much as to even add animated cutscenes to the game. Created by Zebek, the cutscenes of the game took on an
this is a channel that I can see definitely getting big very quickly. It's so good. Right now they only have like 800 subs.
But where is Dr. Wily?
That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the...
I love this part where the guy who's doing the voice acting for Dr. Light messes up his line. It's great. You gotta listen to this again.
We may be able to locate another energy emission. We may be able to
locate. We may eight. I love it. I love it. Older games where they just don't even care. They're just like, whatever, good enough. Throw it out there. So it really is the best, worst voice acting trolls. Oh man, it's great. It's great. So anyways, that is where I'm going to leave the episode, guys. I want to know a little bit of feedback here before I completely end it all. What do you think about the live stream format of it? Do you enjoy the interaction better this way? I know it's a little bit more all over the place. I tried to focus my notes and get it set up prior to loading up the stream, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on going to do a live stream with this, and if it's something that you'd want me to do in the future, or if you prefer me to do the way it used to be. And while I'm waiting for comments on that, I want to do a thank you to all my Patreons. Since this is the inaugural live stream episode, I'm gonna thank everybody. Bruce Clausen, whose channel is Starlink, really good channel. Not just a good guy, but he actually does a really good channel on reviews, old school reviews, classic games, and really analyzes them. Does a great job. So underrated. Really nice dude. Castlemania Ryan, my newest Patreon. And if Castlemania Ryan, if you watch this, thank you so much for joining, dude. Really appreciate you. I will be mailing you out some Christmas gifts for joining. Discart, Homeschooled Nerd, who's awesome. Both these guys are awesome. All these people are so great. Like, honestly, I love this community. Kim Boglis. Kim does not have a channel, but she's one of the biggest supporters I've ever had. She's so nice. Mandalee Plays. Nintendo Direct. Awesome channel. Patrick Garcia. PG Garcia, sorry. Actually, he goes by PJ, I think. But either way, he's awesome. Really good supporter of the channel. Retro Revolutions. Jared does a lot of console teardowns. He's making a Atari Lynx console, which is really neat. Rusty Caulfield, Richard Cruz, TechWiz X, who was in the chat earlier, Super Nintendo, Tellis Lund, and Grumpy Munchkins. All of you guys, seriously, bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And for everybody who came to the chat right now, like I said, I wish I had like my wife in a bikini so that more people would watch and she could actually read the comments to me while I was doing all this, but she leaves me on my own here. One suggestion: spend some time on topics so we can interact with you. Keep up the good work, like discussions like this. Okay, Out to Travel, that's really good feedback. Thank you. I will definitely give more time for discussions. Interactions are great with it being live, as when it isn't feedback is less streamlined for responses. Many people don't go back to read other people's comments, so they might miss something you would say otherwise. Good point, Acronal. Good point. I'm making my first episode about rare and really strange promotional Famicom, Super Famicom. Look out for it. All right, Gene, definitely. All right, TechWizX, you're still here. Thanks so much, dude. Yeah, Saramaru's got an awesome channel, too. He's really good with talking about the import games. And amazing artist, by the way. Fantastic. WTF JT, Ice Pirate. What? Optimus Ponder? Well, you're currently not a Patreon. You want me to say your name anyway? Don't be that. Oh, that. Okay. Don't be that. I know. It was a joke. It was a joke. I would never. You guys take me so seriously. Oh, man. Okay. Anyways, I will end the stream right there. And maybe if I have some time later today, I will be streaming a game. But I will put this on my channel. There's my daughter right there about to grab Mario, Luigi, and Toad. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. All right, guys, thanks so much again for coming by, and this will be up on my channel to watch again. And please go ahead, watch it again, put more full thought out comments in there so that we can have a full discussion on this. I didn't mean to rush this as much as I did. I just want to make sure it was as concise as possible for a video going up on the channel. So I'll leave it at that. And again, thank you all so much for coming by. And as always, you stay sexy.